Welcome to Linda's TV show. If it is your first time of stopping by or coming across my YouTube channel, you are highly welcome. Please, I beg you for this favor, click on that red button that says subscribe. Beside the red button is a notification bell. Turn the bell on so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be the first person to check it out. I appreciate each and every one of you who always come back to watch my videos. Like you know, I present news on daily basis to you. So after watching the video, you are free to criticize and leave your comment constructively. Share the video. Yeah, you can share it to your family, friends, anybody that you can, so that they themselves will be informed. Now I present to you another interesting or informative video which we are going to watch together. Yeah, I'm going to watch this video together with you. Then we'll come to the comment section.
But one of the lessons to learn from what you refer to is there is God in affairs of man. If not for God, I will not be here with you today. Because Abacha told at least 3 people who told me. One of them was this man in Ibadan. He died. Arishekola. That 3 of us will not come out of prison alive or detention. Shehu Yaradua, MK Abiola, and myself. The other 2 did not come out alive. I'm not mocking them. It's just to glorify God, give honor and those who did not come out alive. I am not in any way better than them. And your brother came out alive with me. We both could have been gone. I said, I am particularly happy that I interacted with Wilson Badejo when he was alive. Femi, I don't know if you remember when your father was a chicken farmer like me. Do you remember? That was when I met Wilson Badejo. He was working with one Dutchman called De Vries. And they were looking after a chicken farm in Agege. I just left public office. Sit down for me. And I was thinking of what I will do. I did not plan in my life that I would leave work at the age of 42. Young age to be jobless. But having reached the height or the highest level that I could reach in the military, and having unexpectedly become the head of state and retired, what else could I do? I became unemployed and unemployable. No, don't laugh. Now, where could I go as a former head of state and say, hey, give me a job? So I decided to go into farming, because I thought that that was one thing I could do that will give me dignity and give the post that I have reached dignity. The post of the highest office in the military and the highest political office in the country. So if I became a farmer, I would sit on my farm, and whatever you want to buy, you will buy at the farm gate and take home. I will not be going around with a briefcase and say, knock at your office and say, hey, can I get a contract there? So I decided to go into farming, and I chose to go into poultry farming. And that was my first encounter with your father. 1979. Femi, how old were you then? 1979? I shouldn't ask. And I met a man diligent at his work, passionate at his work. And I learned from him a lot. I haven't been a poultry farmer before then. That was the first time I would be a poultry farmer. He had been. We were going on. And suddenly one day he came. I said, he was leaving poultry farming. So I said, well, the chickens will be annoyed. You are doing a good job. Why do you want to leave the chicken unattended to? He was going to be a full-time pastor. Oh, I said, okay, you will now be looking after a flock of men and women, not chicken anymore. Where you can go, we will continue to look after chicken. And he left us. Again, he took on a job in which he became very, very passionate, very committed. And we were seeing ourselves on and off. He invited me first on one occasion to, is it Moleye area? The church? Huh? Yaba. Yaba. And I went to worship with him there. Then I was arrested. Then I was jailed. And the chairman talked about the experience of the lawyers that defended us. They were military lawyers, military boys. Wilson Badejo tried very much to visit me in prison. He will not be allowed. He was not the only one. Many of my friends tried in vain. One of them was Alhaji Ahmed Goda, who died about a year ago. He lived in Yola and I was in Yola, and they will not allow him to pay me a visit. Then he started getting worried about me. If they wouldn't allow him to pay me a visit, and what sort of isolation will I have been in prison? Until one day, of course, within the prison area, there was an area of land, maybe it's about a quarter of this hall, so free. So I begged them, I said, look, I want to farm here. And then they allowed me. The only thing is that the cutlass and the hoe that I use, I must not take it to myself, so that I will not use it to commit suicide. Then I told them that, look, don't worry yourself. No matter what you put me into here, I will not commit suicide. But anytime I wanted to use the cutlass and hose, they will release them to me, and when I finish, I give it to them. But I planted maize, and my maize required fertilizer. How could I get fertilizer? So I told the superintendent, I will write a letter. If you will kindly deliver it, I will get fertilizer. So I write it. I wrote a letter to a major. I said, I need a bag of fertilizer to grow my maize in the prison. A major was jubilant. He said he danced on that day that, if this man still realizes that he needed fertilizer to grow maize, then he hasn't gone mad. So he sent me a bag of fertilizer. I grew maize, and in fact, everybody, every prisoner and every warder in Yola prison got a cob of maize from my farm in the prison. If you go to my library now, you will still see 2 cobs of the maize that I grew in the... So I came back. And when I came back, the first thing, and Wilson Badejo did, was to take me to the church again for prayer and thanksgiving to God. I couldn't forget that, because he was the only one who did that to me at that time. And on that occasion, I said, Wilson, you know, when you were leaving us as chicken farmers, I wasn't really too happy with you, because I thought we were doing well to raise chicken as food for human beings. But now that I have been a beneficiary of your being in the vineyard of God, I am happy that you have left us on the chicken farm to go to the vineyard of God. And we continue our relationship until I was forced to serve Nigeria in another way, to establish a school up to a university. And I brought Wilson Badejo to be a member of the running council of that university. And he did it so well, that he started as a member of council. There's limit to the time you can stay by the regulation. He stayed for as long as you stay. He came back as a member of Board of Trustees. And lastly, he came back as the chairman of Board of Trustees. As you heard from the General Overseer, the day he died, he gave the closing prayer on what we call prayer breakfast, the first Saturday of every month. He gave the closing prayer, and he was to meet me at the Bells University. I noticed that his voice was a little bit down in that closing prayer. And then I took helicopter to meet him at the Bells University. And when I landed, he said he would join us in about 15 minutes. About 30 or 40 minutes later, somebody put his mouth into my ears and said, Wilson Badejo is dead. I couldn't believe. What is the lesson from that? Children of God, what is the lesson from that? And I said to myself, and I also said it loud and clear, that I have no doubt in my mind that Wilson Badejo is with his maker. Nobody needs to tell me any other thing. His last duty on earth was to give a public prayer all over the world, because that prayer breakfast was broadcast throughout the world. That was his last public function, and he went in his car, and the end came. My brothers and sisters, how prepared are you for the end? As I said at the beginning, we are here today because of the life he lived, the way he lived his life. I hope at the end of your life and my life, we will be remembered the way Wilson Badejo is being remembered today. Now it remains for me to thank all of you who have put this up in in remembrance of Wilson Badejo and his dear wife. And Femi, you and your siblings, you stay the course, remain on the course. God will continue to take care of you and bless you. Well, since I will not be able to speak again after your lecture, the GO said his father is coming. I want to wait to see his father come. But seriously, Nigeria is not what it should be today. And if anybody says anything to the contrary, then his or her head will need to be examined. And nobody will do it for us. And nobody needs to be blamed. My late friend Amejoda, anytime you say, let us pray for Nigeria, he was always annoyed. And he will say, look, you are tempting God. God has given you everything that you need. What the hell are you praying for? God gave you everything. You squandered it. You mess it up. And you are praying to God. He doesn't believe that God will answer us. And I say, look, Ahmed, what is good needs prayer so that it will continue to be good. What is not so good needs prayer so that it will have to be good. So let us pray. I will say, go on praying. And when you finish your prayer, you meet me where I am. But we need to pray. We need to pray so that his father may come. But the choice is in our hand. You don't have anybody to blame. I see 6 and have a dozen. 6 and have a dozen. I don't know what choice you will make out of that 2. And is there any choice? That's where prayer is very important. And don't let us deceive ourselves. We have a choice. It's whether we make the right choice or we ignore making the right choice. And if we don't make the right choice, we don't blame anybody. We blame ourselves. If we make the right choice, we will overcome the twin challenge of poverty and insecurity, which are symbiotic. Insecurity feeds on poverty. Poverty feeds on insecurity. And don't let anybody deceive you about that. And if we do not take the right step and make the right choice, not only will the 2 continue to fester, they will consume us. May God never allow that.
Thank you so much, my wonderful viewers, for watching this video together with me from the beginning to the end. Like I said before, if you like what you see here, if you like what I do in this platform, as you have finished watching this video, please hit that red button that says subscribe and put on your notification bell to all notification. In that way, you'll be able to know when I upload a new video. Share my videos, leave your comments in the comment section constructively. Until I meet your way again in my next video, I still remain your Linda's TV show. Bye-bye.